And so we go back to the early campaign story where the INEC chief said that it is inhibited when it comes to measuring sanctions on those who carry out early campaigns as we bear down on the 2027 general elections. He said that according to the electoral laws, it actually stifles its ability to deal decisively with those who violate the laws guarding electoral processes. And so we are joined by our lawyer from Port Harcourt, Haya King, who will be sharing his perspective with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Haya King. It's nice to have you around.
Having me on your program is a pleasure being on TV once more.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
You're welcome. So do you agree that Nigeria's electoral laws are flawed, or the issue is with enforcing the laws?
No, definitely. Nigeria electoral law, which has been partly amended by Jonathan and Buhari in 2023, is completely flawed. A lot of discrepancies, a lot of things that should not be there, they are still there. The electoral law is complete. We have been calling for overhaul of Nigeria electoral law. Nigeria electoral law, that is the Electoral Act 2023, does not meet up with the international standard. A lot needs to be done. For instance, early voting, for instance, diaspora voting, for instance, a lot of issues, time, for electoral matters to be disposed before the president or the governors are sworn in, complete electronic voting, and several other things are not expressly in the Electoral Act 2023. Completely flawed, just like the Constitution, which also creates enables the Electoral Act is completely flawed. We have been asking for a total overhaul of our electoral law. Otherwise, the government in power will keep on using it to its own advantage. Even appointment of electoral umpires, the way it's done in the Constitution is wrong. Otherwise, why would the president be the one to appoint the umpires that will officiate the match? It's like Man U appointing the referee that will officiate the match between Man U and Arsenal. You know what will happen at the end of the day.
Okay.
So that is one of the and a lot.
Okay, so you're saying the Electoral Act is flawed and ambiguous, but then looking at Section 94, subsection 1 of the Act 2022, it states that for the purpose of this Act, the period of campaigning in public by every political party shall commence 150 days before polling day and end 24 hours prior to that date. Now, this particular law is explicit. What makes it hard for the implementation of this?
In law, we say that anything that the law does not provide for does not exist. Anything that the law does not provide for does not exist or is not an offense if you do it. Yes, if you go to subsection 2 of that same Electoral Act, it provides for offenses. If you go to 95, it provides for further offenses. If you go to 96, it also provides offenses and even imprisonment for individuals. Meanwhile, the political parties, they did not provide imprisonment for them. They only provide fines. Now, because I've seen the argument by INEC and some other lawyers that because you did not say expressly that nobody should campaign before 1 and 5 months to the election and all that. But again, people are campaigning now. That is the issue. People are already campaigning. And the INEC has said that because there is nowhere it is expressly provided that no man should campaign 150 days before the election. And that is why they cannot do anything. They cannot do anything because the people campaigning are the people in power, not because they cannot do anything. That's law. Somebody should have been arrested, somebody should have been taken to court, and let the court decide, let the court interpret that section.
So this would mean that the issue is not with the law, it is with INEC not being brave enough to enforce the law.
Well, not just I will I will agree with them partly and disagree with them. That's what I was trying to explain. The law did not expressly say nobody can campaign. You must campaign 60 days, sorry, 150 days or 180 days before election. Now, what they are doing right now, they would like INEC to say is not covered by the law. It's not covered by the law. Like I said in my opening speech, in the law, anything that the law did not provide for or did not prohibit is not an offense. You cannot say that. That's the truth about it. Until the law says this is an offense, that is only when it becomes an offense. You will remember that when the issue of kidnapping started, there was no law. Only said the hostage taking. That was all we had in the criminal code. Before states, Rivers State was one of the first states to do anti-kidnap law. And other states have followed and all that and all that and all that. I'm just giving an example. But I think that INEC should have done more than they are doing instead of self-excuse, instead of excusing themselves. They should have arrested somebody. Let's go to the court and let us know whether the law is that you can campaign and you will only stop campaigning 150 days before the time declared for campaign. That is what they are trying to say. That the law can only catch up with you if INEC declares election and within the 150 days you campaign. Then after the 150 days, in fact 24 hours, if you campaign, if you look at section 94 and 95, the 24 hours, if you campaign, is an offense. I think I said the party should pay 2 million. The even radio station went to say that even radio stations giving opportunities for campaign, to the party, that every party must be given equal. If you give it on 1 hour, you give it on 1 hour. Okay. And where you don't do that, you will be punished and all that and all that. I think INEC should have gone to court to interpret that section. Whether does it not include campaigning 2 years before the election, 1 year before the election? I think the essence of that provision is that no campaign should take place until when INEC declares a time, brings out the timetable, and you now start from the day INEC declares the timetable, completing 150 days according to what the law says. But I am also agree that the law also intends to stop any form of campaign, either 1 year, 2 years, whatever, before the time.
All right, Higher King. Well, we understand. I mean, the law actually stipulates 150 days before election, 24 hours after election. I mean, it's all plain on paper right there, but it's the interpretation and the implementation that is the problem. But then, thank you so much for sharing your opinion with us as regards this particular situation, Higher King, on the news.